Next up, we've got the results of your selections for the Audience Choice Awards for digital games. To present this award, we have a game writer and narrative designer who just wrapped up writing for Book 1 for the sci-fi MMORPG, easier to read than to say, Tau Station. She also writes comics and story for Wilder Myth, which is a character-driven, procedurally generated tactical RPG. She's a co-organizer for Women in Games Boston. When she's not making games, she's usually playing them, or walking the woods, or doing tribal belly dance and yoga. Please welcome Shay Rossi.
We've seen some incredible games today. I'd love to take all of them home. They wrote that for me, but it's actually true. But right now, it's time to recognize just one that the people here have voted on. And the winner of the Audience Choice Award for Digital Games goes to Evergate.
Now it is time for the coveted recognition that's attached to our winner of the Best in Show Award for Tabletop Games. As tradition, the presenter for this award is our Vice President of Tabletop Curation. He's a Boston local who's been involved in the tabletop game community for many years. In addition to designing games, he's also the president of the Boston Game Makers Guild, and he served as a judge for IndieCade, along with the Cardboard Edison Contest and other game design events. He's a prolific speaker and writer in the game design community, and his newest game, Bamuntu, was recently made the August cover of Game Trade magazine, and it's set to be released by Whiz Kids at Essen next month. Please welcome Tim Blank.
This year is my 4th year running the tabletop curation, and one of the best things that I have gotten to do this year and in the past years is to really see Boston Fig grow. To just give you a little bit about how tabletop curation has grown, between last year and this year we had a 35% increase in the number of submissions to it. We also cut down the number of finalists that got into the show, so it was super competitive. And so for all of the 40 games that made it in this year, congratulations, you all deserve a really big round of applause. I get asked a lot what we look for when we're deciding Best in Show. And I always go to 3 points. The first one is we want to see innovation. We want to see a game that does something different, whether it be present a different theme, use different components. We've had games here that are played in the dark. We've had games here that explore different types of disabilities. We just want Boston Fig to be that show that can put forth these games that you wouldn't see at a giant convention like PAX or like Gen Con or Origins. The second thing that I look for is for opportunity for designers. One of my favorite parts of Boston Fig is that I will get a father and daughter team who's been spending 3 years working on their game, sitting next to a well-known published designer who is on their 40th title that they're working on. And yet when they're on that floor back there, they have that same size booth and the same opportunity to show their games to their audience. And the last thing I look for, of course, is a lot of fun. And I will tell you, this year, we put forth 40 damn good games. So now I get to surprise one of them. The winner of Best in Show for 2018 for Tabletop Curation is Crumbs.
Our last award of the evening is the Best in Show Award for Digital Games. Congratulations to all the amazing designers and developers out there who worked very hard to show us their games today. Presenting this award will be Boston Fig's Vice President of Digital Curation. They are the UI artist at Harmonix. He's been working in the game industry, the game development industry for over a decade, with experience across a number of studios in Boston and around the world. Please welcome Mary Ovina.
Show Award is given to the game that distinguishes itself across all categories by demonstrating excellence in many different areas. Contenders for this award are games that are not only exceptional within their own category, but also craft a unique experience in a way that's threaded through the game's many facets. The winner is a game that stood out in many regards as a vibrant example of outstanding design. There are many cards, but only one is appropriate for this case. And the winner of the Best in Show Award for Digital Games goes to Boyfriend Dungeon.
So as we start to wind down, I just want to add that it's been a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. I've been blown away by all the incredible work. In fact, I've been inspired to do an episode of my podcast about indie games, and I've met a lot of you out here tonight. So I've been recording for that episode. But before we conclude the award show, please take out your raffle tickets as we welcome Ted Atkinson, who's going to announce our prize winners.
All right. I hope you're ready for this. We've got an amazing number of sponsors who helped us out here by putting together a package that includes hoodies and swag from a half dozen studios. We've got games. It's a really wonderful thing that we've got for you. So, without further ado, shuffle up here. And our winner is David Hoberman. Wait, there's more. I know you all love our amazing shirts that we have this year. We also have a lot of other shirts that are equally amazing, although not from this year, and we would be happy to throw some of those out to you right now. So, hold on for a sec, because here they come.
you look under your seats, there's a new PlayStation for everybody. So. I think all the fundraising is for. Speaking of which, finally tonight I have the pleasure of introducing a woman who hardly needs my introduction with this crowd. Her talent, passion, energy invigorate and inspire everyone around her. I first met Caroline because she's a listener to my podcast and she emailed me to ask if I'd ever do an episode about LARPing. And her pitch was so good, I called her up for more details. We talked for over an hour. And not only did I do that episode and included an interview with her, I'm now doing a second episode because I've become a full-fledged LARPer. And later this fall, we'll be LARPing as an estranged couple, haunted by personal and literal demons in 17th century Massachusetts. Yeah, it's going to be really tense. Please welcome the CEO of Boston Fig, my friend Caroline Murphy.
Some folks to thank. So first of all, thank you so much to all of our volunteers and staff. To Oleg Brodsky, who is the chair of this festival and makes this happen. Thank you so much. The exhibitors and our sponsors, especially Breaking Games, who was a gold level sponsor this year. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to tell you things. All right, so thank you all so much for coming to Boston Fig Fest 2018. Boston Fig is now in its 7th year of operation, and I count it among my life's greatest accomplishments to be CEO of this nonprofit company. Boston Fig has one mission. We are dedicated to fostering the next generation of game creators. Go to the next slide. Yes. There we go. There it is. You may have noticed how many kids we have walking the halls here today. We even have kids exhibiting games in our showcase. So we are succeeding in that mission, but I know that there's more that we can do. Not only for the next generation, but also to bring more diversity and different voices into this pursuit. This is a major reason why Boston Fig is no longer just a September festival. We now have a number of events that we run throughout the year. Boston Fig Talks is our game creator conference that runs annually in February. Boston Game Loop is an unconference that runs annually in August and joined the Boston Fig family this year. Boston Fig Forward is an educational outreach program for underserved communities that is in curriculum development currently and set to launch in 2020. And Boston Fig Learns, our education-focused conference, is running for the first time in just a couple of months. And I'm very excited to announce that we have identified our keynote speaker for Boston Fig Learns, which will take place September 17th of this year at Northeastern University. Dr. Celia Pierce is a game designer, artist, author, creator, teacher, and researcher specializing in multiplayer and virtual worlds, independent art, and alternative game genres, as well as games and gender. She currently holds a position as Associate Professor of Game Design at Northeastern in Boston, and is the co-founder and festival chair of Indiecade, maybe you've heard of it, an international independent game festival and showcase series. Celia is a personal hero of mine, a friend, and we could not be more honored to have her keynoting for Learn. So let's give her a round of applause for Celia. Okay, now is the time when I get sappy. All right, we can move on to the next thing. Okay. This year marks the 9th year that I've called Boston my home. I moved here for grad school, armed with the knowledge that I passionately wanted to run my own game company, and that I needed to learn the finer points of business in order to do that. Like so many young people, I was young like 10 years ago, I moved here for the amazing educational opportunities that our great state has, but I stayed here because I found something truly remarkable, which is this community. We've seen our set of hardships over the years. Major studios opening, then closing doors. Investment money drying up. Legislature turning away bills that could help our burgeoning industry. harassment and abuse directed at women in our community. It hasn't all been easy. It's tested our mettle. And we're stronger than all of that. We're here because we know that games can be a force for positive change, and that's exactly what we need right now. I can't promise you that major studios will open or that investment will rain from the sky. I can't promise you that the legislative bodies will understand our industry's value. And I can't promise you that I can solve the problem of harassment, though I can promise you that at our events, it will never be tolerated. And I can also promise you that I will never stop fighting for what I believe in, which is this community. All of you here in person, here in spirit, and for that next generation of game creators. Once again, thank you for coming, and good night.
Everybody run.